Hey everybody, welcome back to Going Ballistic. Super excited. We finally had a warm, not so windy day here. And I thought I'm gonna break out the monster truck and show what you guys have helped make happen. We couldn't have done this without your guys' support, and we thank you so much. So it's come a long way since I first got this truck, which you can see right here. It needed paint, it needed tires, it needed interior, and you name it, it needed it. But with a little bit of time and a little bit of money, this is what we got done so far. There's still a long way to go, but this is what we got done. So let's take a walk around and show you guys what we've done. First thing we did is we had to get new tires on this thing. The tires are going low about every 30 minutes. Two of them would be completely flat in about 30 minutes. This was about $5,000 for all these tires, but they were bought over time. Of course, couldn't afford them all at the same time. Had to go with some cool headlights. These are cool 7-inch headlights out of a Jeep, but a lot of them fit these older vehicles. Went with the cool green running lights. The headlights aren't hooked up yet, but they will be soon. Had to give it a good bumper number. Can anybody tell me what that stands for? Huh? Come on. Put it in the comments. Next, I had to put brakes on because this thing had no brakes, but I'll show you those in a minute. First, we went ahead and used a Raptor bed liner on the whole body, underneath, in the cab and everything. I wanted something that was durable and would hide stuff because I wasn't going to do no pro job trying to paint this thing, so that's what I came up with. But it turned out pretty good. We took all the chrome stuff off, ended up painting that black, give it a black accent, and I think it turned out pretty good. We got some really good shocks which help out so much more on the handling of this thing. These are big shocks, very, very good shocks. Really like these. These are nitrogen filled here. These are the bonsai ones I got, and really drives much better. Full exhaust system on it because I didn't like the open headers. I couldn't hear myself think, so we did full exhaust. Our buddies down at Schumacher's ran those all the way. Let's see what else under here. Okay, under here we still don't have brakes, but I finally found some original axles. These are actually off World War II. They're 1.5 ton axles. Found some original ones with all the brakes on it, so we're going to be putting the brakes on here. But what we did in the meantime was this. So here's the transfer case, and these old World War II vehicles had a drum here and it had a band that went around it, and that was the parking brake. Well, we took all that stuff off. Justin machined me a piece to adapt this Ford F-150 brake rotor to fit on there. We made this big old thing out of an I-beam, the support, and then I got a single, well, it's a double caliper, but just one caliper I put over there to help stop it, and it works pretty good. So with this system here, I had to put a racing pedal in there, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. Painted the underneath. That was a chore in itself, painting all the exhaust and everything. All right, so what I did is I got rid of the fuel tank that was behind the seat because I wanted a racing fuel cell. So we put the racing fuel cell here in the back. It's got baffles and stuff to help the gas from sloshing around. Ran it off a mechanical fuel pump. I don't know, I'm old school, so I just went with the mechanical fuel pump again. Put it down there. I'm not really interested in trying to get as much horsepower out of this thing as I can. We put new brake light covers on. The brakes are not hooked up. The brake lights, I should say, are not hooked up yet. Again, had to fix the trim, was all bent to heck. Fixed all that. And just, you know, paint, sanding, all kinds of different stuff on here. But I think it turned out pretty good, man. We do have to do a little bit more work on the engine as we got a couple weak cylinders. Now that you can actually shut this thing up with the exhaust on it, it does have a few misses. So we're gonna do an in-frame rebuild on this engine here pretty soon. Things I had to do on the engine, which still looks the same. It's ugly, it's nothing pretty yet. We put a smaller carb. It had a 750 double pumper on it. Boy, you could just watch the needle go down on that. So we put a 600, new starter, new battery, new alternator, because none of that worked. There was no wiring hardly in here. They just started this truck, and I think they'd race it through the mud, and that was it, and let the water stop them, I guess, because it had, like I said, it had no brakes. But let's take a look on the inside. Okay, so the doors, had to redo the doors. This had some really horribly cut in speaker holes here. So we made these plates to hide those and put rivets in to hold it in place, repainted it, ended up having to get new door panels used. These have speaker holes, which I do plan on putting some speakers in, but the old one had a huge hole over here underneath those ugly panels that were here. We'll get new door handles and stuff. All right, so this right here, this is my running lights. This was a cargo light for the original trucks, so I hooked my green running lights to that. I will put just a switch in here, not a regular light switch, just a flip up switch here for the lights. We had to rewire the entire inside because it was gutted. If you guys remember, there was just a push button and a switch here. That was to start it. Bought a new gauge cluster just to hide the hole. But I put all the gauges down here. So we got fuel, water, oil, and got your volts there. Rhino lined everything. New racing seats from Jegs, 4-point harnesses, again, rhino lined everything, and of course we have machine gun mounts in between the seats because you need machine guns in a monster truck. All right, radio doesn't work, but it is a tape deck, and no heat was in it. Still no heat. We're going to redo that. We are going to redo this is still the original shifter. Justin's going to make some bushings and stuff for the four-wheel drive levers there because they're real loose. And we got a new B&M racing shifter going in it. Redid the steering wheel. Man, we just did a lot in this truck. But let's start it up so you guys can hear what it sounds like with the new exhaust. I think that sounds much better. Let's take it for a ride. So none of the vacuum lines or anything was hooked up into the transmission. So I only had 2 gears. I had first gear and reverse, and that was it. So next thing I want to do is get the engine running, get it running like a top. So I tell you, driving this thing with the new suspension is so much better. I tell you, big shocks, those are some nice shocks that we got on this thing. But it handles pretty good, the power steering. I mean, it ain't no Cadillac, but it's a lot of fun. Well, thank you guys for watching. Again, Justin and I could not have done this without the support from all of you. So we thank you guys so much. Don't forget, we do have the dual MG42. We got those going. You can see the stand right here. This is going to be awesome when we get these mounted in the back. But we thank our patrons. We thank all of you guys. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you love it? Do you hate it? It's all right. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back.